Welcome. I'm Maurice with Chef's Temper. Thank you very much for joining me today. I have got a special project. I'm going to turn this into this. This is the Chef's Temper logo blade. All right, I think it's time to fire up the forge. Ready to get started. Once I knock off the base, there's going to be two little holes on this end. I'm going to have to cut that off. Then I'm going to isolate the tang. What I mean by the tang is the part that's hidden in the handle. It's a part of counterbalance to make sure that the weight of the knife is correct. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to isolate this tang on my first heat. Hammer a nice big V into it and then flatten that V out into this shape. I don't need to finalize this now. I'm just going to isolate my tang and move into the heel. Moving the material from the spine down to the heel gives me height and adjusts for the thickness on the spine. Next up, working on profiling this blade. I've got to thin the blade all the way down to the same thickness as the heel. I'm going to leave it roughed, but I also need to make sure that I'm drawing the material this way. I need to get my length. I need to get this long enough. I want an 8-inch spine from the top of the heel all the way to the tip. So you just saw me cut off the tip of this knife. I now have shaped this up a little bit. I've moved the material up to the back, trying to get a nice straight edge across this spine. So next up, now that this is cut, rough profile shape, I need to clean this up and I need to make this look a little bit more like the finished blade. You saw me hammer out this knife into a nice shape. I've cleaned up the edges, I've cleaned up the profile. Looking down the blade, I have a couple little warps left in there, a couple little bends, but I'm going to fix those in the next stage. is also putting in the rivets. So going from this knife to this knife is a very critical moment in the knife making. I go from swinging the hammer really hard to nice light hammer blows using a different hammer. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. I had a blast making the Chef's Temper logo blade. Like and subscribe to this video, please. Also, if you want your own blade, while supplies last, go to chefstemper.com and get yours. From me, that's everything. Important, hit that bell. Much love.